morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Good,
Morning.
man. Good, man. Hey, I know it was a tough loss last night, but it's good to see Jack Flaherty seem to find his groove a little bit. How'd you think he pitched last night?
I thought he threw really well, and I think each outing keeps honing it in, throwing more strikes, going deeper into the game. That's what we need him to do. That's what we need our starting pitching to do, is eat up those innings and keep the score down. And he's been doing that here early in the season, and that's a good sign for us.
It's early in the season, and you guys haven't gotten off to the start that you guys wanted to get off to. How do you guys handle that day-to-day, knowing you got more talent, that you guys believe better days are coming?
Well, we have an experienced group, and what I mean by that is there's no panic because, I think, 7-10, couple games under 500. I mean, if you look at stretches where we've made the playoffs, and we probably had a lot worse stretches than 7-10. So it feels a lot worse than what it actually is. All it takes is to go on a little winning streak, and we're back above 500, and then we're never going to look back. So it's always tough early in the season. Sometimes, some years you come out real hot. Some years you come out and scuffle a little bit. So, I mean, it's just a game of baseball.
So, Kiz, what's Ollie telling you guys just about what needs to change quickly here to try to get on that run you're talking about?
I don't know necessarily if anything needs to change. I think it's just a matter of thinking everything together at the same time in the same game. Pitching, hitting, it all needs to come together in one game for us to win. It seems like days we pitch, we don't hit, and days we hit, we don't pitch very well. So I think we have the parts. It's just a matter of aligning them.
So one of the guys that's getting hot right now is Contreras, which is great to see. You're backing up Contreras. What's that like, your relationship with him? I do notice, like, if he's gotten the start and you're warming up guys, then when he comes out, you do a little glove tap or whatever. What is your relationship like with him, and what's he like?
Relationship is good. We're bouncing ideas back and forth, trying to work together to get everything back on track and get the winning going. He's an intense personality for sure, but he wants to win, and he cares about winning, which is why he's a Cardinal. So, it's good to see him getting swinging, and like I said, we're going to win some games, coming up here now that we're getting the hitting going and we're getting the pitching lined up. So, should be in good shape.
So, Kiz, overall, it is early, but starting rotation as a whole has not been great. And I think most people know and think it's going to get better. So what do you think needs to happen with all the starters to try to kind of just get back there, giving you guys a better chance to win night in, night out?
I think the number one thing is efficiency. I think our starting pitching can be a little bit more efficient. And that goes on the catchers, too. It goes on me as well. Trying to get the 2 strikes as fast as possible and put guys away and keep that pitch count down so we can go deeper in the game so we can give our bullpen a little bit of a break. So I think that's the number one thing. I think we've been, as a starting pitching staff, I think we've been throwing good, but I think we could be a little bit more efficient to keep that, like I said, to keep that pitch count down, eat up some innings, keep us in the game later in the game. So I think that's the number one thing.
Kiz, in regard to Jordan Hicks, Ollie Marmol says, look, our job is to get him right. So he's with the team, and they're going to use him in lower leverage situations to try to straighten him out. My question to you is, when he's right, tell me about his stuff, what makes him stand out, what makes him the kind of guy that you don't want to give up on because, down the road, if he gets right, it'll pay off. Tell me about his stuff.
Well, anytime you have a guy throwing consistently over 100 miles an hour, you want him pitching for you and not against you. And speaking from just experience of facing guys that throw really hard, it's a tough at-bat. So I think the number one thing for Hicks is if he can get his sinker in the zone and make guys respect that 100 miles an hour with a ton of movement in the zone, then the off-speed is going to play up, and then he's going to start getting the chase on the off-speed. But I think the number one thing is making opposing batters respect him in the zone. And if he can do that, then he's going to be really, really good like he has been in the past.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish.
I was just going to say,
Oh,
you know,
Jimmy.
Unbelievable. You interrupted
sorry about that,
Kiz.
Kiz. I'm sorry about that,
Kiz,
man.
he always does
He
this.
does
It's
it.
unbelievable.
Sorry, man.
Go ahead. Please finish.
No, I mean, that's pretty much everything I was going to say. I think, you know, when you're moving that fast down the mound with your arm speed moving that fast, if you're just a millimeter off, that can cause a whole lot of problems. So I think we have the right plan in place. I think Dusty knows what he's doing, and he'll be able to get Hicks back with the right mechanics and back with the right mentality of going downhill, attacking hitters, and pounding the strike zone.
Okay. Now my next question. I apologize for step, but I was so eager to put you on the spot, and I'm going to tell you right now. Here it is.
Wow.
So, you're buddies with Newt, correct?
Yep.
You're buddies with him, right? So he goes and plays for Team Japan, and there's new mania in Japan. Has he changed since he's gotten backstage?
Has he changed?
That's like the number one worst thing you can say to a baseball player is, "Oh man, you've changed." Newt has not changed one bit. He's the same guy, high energy, off the walls. You know, that's what he was like. I think now it's just more in the public eye that he's that crazy and you know, he hasn't changed one bit. Same guy. Same old Newt Bar.
You know I'm kidding around about that. He is the same guy, and it was just fun. It was fun to watch the Prime Minister doing the pepper grinder.
Pepper grinder.
I mean, he took over a country.
Hey,
And
Kiz.
Kiz doesn't get any credit for
Kiz
it,
gets
which,
no credit
which
for
ticks
it.
me off.
Yeah. We're changing that.
Kiz should be getting at least 40% of the royalties.
I agree.
At least.
We'll make that happen for you, Kiz. Hey, real quick, before we let you go, the games seem like they're flying by. Like, do you notice it, or do you not even care?
No, definitely games are going quick. You know, I looked up yesterday. I felt like the first 5 innings went by in about 30 minutes, and I was like, oh, my God, this game is flying by. You know, so I think the pitch – I like the pitch clock. I think it's good. I like the tempo of the game. I don't think it's messing with the integrity of the game. I feel like there's enough time to think about pitch calling a pitch. There's enough time for hitters to think about the at-bat, think about your next swing. But I think it just reduces some of that slack time that, you know, it's kind of like you don't really need all of it. So I think it's cutting that slack time out. It's a good tempo, a good flow to the game. So I think it's been great to start the season.
I agree. I wonder, and I haven't looked at numbers to point this out, but I wonder because in the past it seems like some of the relievers, almost like if you're doing a max bench press, they would almost use as much time as possible to have that 1 rep max of throwing as hard as possible. And now that you have to speed it up, do you think that affects especially relievers at all?
You know, I think it does vary somewhat guy to guy. But I guess if you look at the way the body moves, I guess you do need a certain amount of time in between maximum efforts to get back up to that maximum effort. But I don't know the exact science of the body and what that is. I'm sure there is something like that because bodybuilders, you have to take a certain amount of time in between reps and sets to make sure you're maximizing that potential. I don't know what it is with the baseball pitch because it's so quick and explosive. It happens so fast. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure there is some science to it.
Yeah. Hey, well, Kiz, man, good luck to you. We're going to be watching, and we'll talk next week.
Sounds good.
All right, big dog.
See you, Kiz.
And
Sorry for interrupting you.
sorry
Sorry
Cat
about
interrupted
you.
you.
Sorry for
That was bad.
Sorry
It's
about
all
you.
good.
See you.
All right, buddy. Good luck to you. All right, that was Andrew Knizner. He's always, man, he's just always happy and upbeat.
He's upbeat.
And he's good in the locker room, man, and we're rooting for him.
Of course.
We're rooting for Andrew Knizner. Didn't have to come on like that. You did interrupt him, though. I felt bad for him.
That was
dang
so
it. He might not
rude.
come on next week.
Unbelievable.
He's not going to come on next week.
Embarrassing for the show.
It is.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
You were good, too. Like, you were fine, but he paused for a bit.
He had such a great thought, and then you just...
He paused for a bit,
He
Jimmy.
couldn't find it again. Gosh. Imagine that quote. Like, imagine we could have used that quote in promos.
Monetize it.
You've now twice.
That's
You've
fine.
now twice
Yeah.
You're
broken
right.
the rule.
You're right.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's a
This
fine.
guy, he
It's a
can't
fine.
help himself. Can't help himself interrupting. Can't help himself with saying that M word. It's unbelievable.
You guys keep me locked in and make the worst days better.
A little worse.
Is it possible to ask him in a nice way the thought process about 7 sliders in a row?
Next week.
Yeah, we'll do that next week. 7 in a row.
So Hicks was supposed to talk before the game yesterday, and then said he had something else he had to do. I'm wondering if he'll talk today. I'd like to get his side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Haven't heard from him.